Ignited souls, we are ready for a new creation. Hello, beautiful ignited souls. We are having another tea break. Hope you got your cup because I've got mine. Let's get ready, let's get set, let's get going. Okay, because we are embarking on a ship. Okay, my cup. All right. So, I had intended, of course, doing videos on showing how the number 8 is in relation to all the stories, meaning that 8, of course, is infinite 8, but also the association with the first story that we have of Adam and Eve who ate of the fruit. And of course, we are still suffering the consequences of that, if you know what I mean. Okay, so for those who may not be so religious, but I think everyone knows about the story of Adam and Eve. Eve, it's supposed to be the woman who's supposed to be Eve, who ate of the fruit and gave to her husband, which was with her. So we can see, if we read these two chapters, Genesis of chapter 1 and 2, very closely, you will see the two creations. Now, of course, for the two creations, we have also seen the 14 gods, the verbatim gods involved, which we are the embodiment of. Now, the 14 gods, of course, as we are in a new creation, correlates with why we were given 14 days of quarantine. This is like your 14 days of incubation. Of course, the incubation period, it's like 2 weeks, fortnight, all these words have very strong vibration. And of course, when we have processed them, whether in word form, imagery, and putting things into action, of course, we manifest after its kind. Now, I want to, of course, as I said, the intention was to show about more eights. But what I have noticed, although I'm divinely guided to do other videos, it still is showing me more about it in ways that I had not really planned. So stick around, get your tea, and let's take a tea break while we, of course, break the law of silence. That's breaking the law of silence, as I say, if you're new to this channel. And of course, whether you're new or not, welcome to the channel. Welcome to being on the us ship. I call it the fifth dimension, where we are merging into another realm of wisdom, of understanding, of lifestyle, and everything that shapes us into being who we truly are, or becoming, because we are in constant motion. So we are now, of course, on this transformation, and it is a new creation happening. Hence, we have a lot of number 8s happening around us. We are very occupied with, there's food. Food has always been central, but we will begin to know how to at least be conscious about what we eat, how we eat, the significance of food or eating or fruit, and so on, because we are now tapping, breaking the law of silence in the numerological aspects of our makeup. With that knowing or knowledge or wisdom that we are acquiring, we are also breaking the law, in the sense that these are not things that has been revealed to us before. So now we are bravely doing the unthinkable. Okay, so I thought today, basically, the two videos, I think I'll have to do this separately, because the first of New Year, meaning the first of the first 2020, 22, it's going to be, it seemed like, I have to think, is that because time has been so, whatever it has been, it's a date that carries great significance. Not only that it is just, as we have known New Year, not only that, as we have known, things have toppled upside down in our lives, but just as we had 2020, and I said this before in previous videos, that perhaps 2022 is going to be even more challenging for us, because the number 22, which is the second master number, this is the number that is perhaps most challenging. 33 is where you die of that which you have actually taken the test, if you like, of the master numbers 11 and 22. And we are in this 2022 approaching, which of course the other video that I want to do is on numbers, or all on numbers, but to take each number consecutively and to show you the true nature of the number, because we tend to think of numbers only well, there's a pound or dollar or one post or one apple and so on. We are not thinking about all the seed that it bears, the skin that it has, or whatever it is, and what significance it holds as number one, what extent of creativity it has, and how that impacts on us in that it activates the part of the codes that we have or we are. So this is what I'm going to do this first video on that date, actually. So on the and afterwards you can come back, of course, to the simple numbers. I'm hoping that they will be simple enough to get you to understand the full significance of 2022. So let's look at how we're going to break the law of silence and deconstruct the meaning of 2022. Got it in red, 2022. I'm often told about, especially perhaps with 2022, I should have it in blue. Tone it down a bit, because I really feel it's going to be catastrophic. Now, why I say this is that, of course, we are by nature catastrophic, if you like. We are number 6. We are Genesis. The word Genesis is actually 33, which means 3 plus 3 is 6. And so we see how that year is going to be very significant for planting, but we need to be very mindful what we plant, because it is a year that is irreversible in a sense. It's just, well, you could say all year or all times are, but this year, that 2022, and I'll show you what happens here. If we did 2 TWO equals 13, this is 13. Wherever we see 13, there is the death aspect to the 13, just as it were the story of Jesus Christ. We have this energy here is going to be times 3. So obviously here in this, we could say this is 39. 3 plus, all of this is really going to be a process of this whole seed of creation busting out in all its aspect, like a seed was in the ground, like whatever has been planted in 2020, because 2020 was again another seed form, another template for planting or for creating, because 20 is like a beginning. But there we have 2022. This 22 in a sense is like having the emblem of the children of Israel crossing or going to the promised land. This is what it's going to be. But the whole process of their crying and their wailing and their asking and building of the calf and the breaking of the tablets with Moses and all the slaughtering, where the Lord or God called Moses to gather some of them and where they were being killed as well. A lot of this is happening. Now, I haven't heard many people actually speak of that verse where God called Moses and actually called the certain priests and gathered them, and there was a killing. So we know that the Lord God who had ordered Moses of course, to have people killed. So Moses actually, remember, we have done a bit on Moses, which is number 8. Moses equals 8, and it's 5 letters of the alphabet, or 5 letters. Let's just say 5 letters, because there are 2 S's, the 2 serpents. This is what it was. We are going to go back into Moses after doing this, because I feel Spirit really wants us to prepare. And this is not to scare you or have you being fearful or anyway, but it's about preparing our hearts, preparing our minds, our thoughts. And of course, if you were in your home and you perhaps knew that there was a storm coming, you would take precaution to protect yourself. And that's why we will, according to the scriptures, in Genesis of chapter 1, verse I think it is verse 13 or 14, but we were given at say 14. We were given the times for days. Let's see how good my memory is. So verse 1 or chapter 1, and God said, let there be light. And there was another thing about light in the firmament of the heavens, and to divide the day from the night. So basically we are given times, yes, for season. So let's just read it. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night. So the day from the night. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. So signs, seasons, days and years. So of course, you know, days or years constitute days, and likewise seasons constitute or signs constitutes seasons, whichever. But we are looking at 4 aspects here that really shows or depicts our foundation. So this is what we are looking at here. In fact, Spirit is telling me to do a video, or in fact to show you what the numerical value is. I didn't plan this for signs, season, days and years. So I know these are things, as I continue repeating, things we've done before. However, we are following our intuition to doing this, because everything again is for signs and seasons. So just before we do this, I want to say, because of the 2-2, which is coinciding, let's look at this. The year 2-2 is like 2 TWO, which equals 13, and 3WO, which also equals 13. And this is 26. 2 plus 6, which is the number of alphabet, the letters of the alphabet, 26, which really is a template here. This is 2 plus 6 is 8, and 8 is again that ceremonial emblem, if you like. It's the emblem of food, it's tea, it's when they've ate of the fruit. All of this, when we see the number 8, just like it had been with China equals 8, and of course we see the development, or how China has evolved, and with Buddhism that also equals 8, and so we have the legacy of what 8 is. Hence in the Old Testament, God always spoke. You always hear of a terrible God. The terrible God is the catastrophic climax that of evolution, or it's like the fall of Babylon, to be to rebuild, to put back together, to recreate, and that's what we are looking at. So we are on 14 minutes, and of course we are calling on the gods, although the gods are present, but we are acknowledging the presence of the gods right now. So we had to look at signs, SIGNS, signs. So it's signs, seasons, SEASONS, and days, DAYS, and years, YEARS. Now what we have noticed, there's the S in all the two S's here, and we have, so anytime we see ing here, we see ing, we see that there is a motion. This is what in is. It's continuous. This is the serpent right here. So we are given this as signs. Let's just see what that comes together, what the numerical value is on this. So it's 19751, and so this is 10, 17, 22, 23. So this is 2 3 equals 5. And then we have seasons. I know, okay, I'll still do it, which is 1511 651. Okay, so this is 12, 13, 14, 19, 20. So this is 20, and the okay, so seasons, so all of 20 is really representing like 20 whatever it is, that we are in now, the year 2000. This is all about giving us about the signs. It's all about seasons. This is our era. So 20, and this is 4171. So this is 8, 12, 13. So 13, of course, we could say that at the table where Jesus was at the Last Suppers, this was days. This was days with the Last Supper, meaning all this happened in the daylight, or it's given light to the crucifixion, or given light to what happened before the crucifixion. So all of that was day. Of course, this is what we, this is to give foundation here. Okay, and the years, which is 75191. So this is 10, 17, 23. So this is 23. And so we have 223. So adding this together, this is 9, 10, 11, and 5 is 16. So 16 is actually one of the most powerful numbers. You may not hear that much anywhere, but actually, because 16 is, it's like an infinite number when we look at it. So 1 plus 6 is 7. This is all of creation. This is all of the 6 days of creation and the 7th day of rest. This is why the number 7 is so sacred. Of course, it's also depicting the two creations. Okay, so this is what I'm not quite sure why the gods really wanted me to do this here, but we will see as we go along. Perhaps this is to say, this is just coming, or I should ask the gods, why do we have to, what is it we are meant to see here? But as I mentioned, two creations, I'm seeing as well that, of course, all this is like the plural, because we have the S's behind each of this. For the year 2022, this is also showing the number of creation, because if we did the numerical value for the word 7, it gives us 2 as 20, as we have seen here. So this is a season. Now this season, as I see here, which is 20, let's do this so you can see. Okay, we're breaking the law of silence right here. So we see all of this is showing that the one creation that we see as, or we think it's one creation, or creation in creation, is as 7 days, or 7. We have 7. So when we do SEVEN, which Eve is in the middle here, so it's like saying Eve right here, which is 5, like 14, the same 14 which Jesus came from, the lineage of that 14, and then we have 1 plus 5, 6. So anyway, so 14 plus 5 is 19, and 120. So this is how we have 2 right here. So basically we can see that this 22, this is what the gods want me to show you. 22 is actually saying that there are 2 creations happening here simultaneously. This is going to be a demarcation, a real mark of these 2 creations happening here. And this is why I also think that just like childbirth, it's that the child comes from, there's a breaking of water. And I'm going to say this because this is what has come to me. I thought that there was more of a positive event, and everything has its positive and negative, but we will actually see 2022, particularly on the first day of the month, 1st of January 2022, we are going to hear of something very catastrophic, and I am still believing that this is going to come from China again. I still believe that this is, we have not come to the end of China in this sense. So the China is still going to break out, and just like the womb is breaking out, it's like we felt okay, there was something that basically we are seeing creation unfolding right before our eyes. When it is said that things mutate, this is what creation is happening. So there always was 2, and of course we could say the viruses or whatever we have seen has got its shadow effect, but I feel that there is the other twin that's going to come. And remember, it's like Cain killed Abel. This is what I feel, there is going to be that fight that's going to happen, and so we are going to experience very I believe that there is going to be a very catastrophic event again that is going to shake the world even more. So I really wanted to add a bit more on the date. So 1/1, let's just see the 1st of January. So 1st of January 2022. Okay, so we have 1, and this comes to 8. So I really want to show you how all the 8s, because we are in 8s, and that's why it's like the 8 is breaking and molding like cells, like our cells. The cells keep multiplying, they break and they multiply. And this also reminds me of one of the 5 first set of commandments, if you like, that we had, if I remember, that also has this effect of, no, it's not 1, but we were told to be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, and have dominion. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8. So this equals 8. And this is what I mean about the synchronicity happens, because I wanted to do more on Moses, or focus more on Moses. But I do see that all what I am being advised to do here is still coinciding, showing us about 8. And hopefully we can begin to explore the number 8, or the formation of 8. Now I have done those videos before, but again I feel I'm being guided to do this and have each number be revisited. So let's look at how this actually breeds after its kind. So if we took 1 here, for instance, let's just look at that. 1, 1, okay, 2021. So we'd have 1, and we'd have 1, and we'd have 2. 2 is TWO. In this case, we have another 2 and another 2. We don't use the not here. in this calculation. We're just going with this. Of course, there are times we are advised to do this. Everything has its season. So 1 equals 7. 1 equals 7, because just to tell you, this is, let's do this so you can see how it works. So 1 is 6, 5, 5, and 2 is 2, 5, 6. Okay, right here. Okay, so this is 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. Another 16. 1 plus 6 is 7. 2 is 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. And then we have another 2, which is 4, another 2, 13, which is 4. Adding this together, 3 4s 12, and 2 7s 14. This gives us 26 people. 2 plus 6 is 8. Now what we have done here is show you the perfection of this date, for the demarcation of all the mark, the symbol, the season, the sign of what this really means is so intact that even when we put it in word form, which is the feminine, it's like the feminine and the masculine part or faces have holding the very same value, even visible to us. So we can see it's really a bit like China equals 8 and Buddhism also equals 8. This is why I am feeling right now this date, the 1st of January 2022, holds something very catastrophic. The 2 8s coming together, they have to come together just like Adam and Eve ate. Just like they ate and they came to, of course, they were taken from the garden. So that means it seemed like something was broken. And we have, although all this is illusionary in the sense of there are different layers to this story. So we have, anyway, we have, oh, let's take a tea break. So we can see 26, which actually it's like saying right here, you have been given the 26 letters of the alphabet right there to do something with it. So, of course, the coming together it's like whether you have to write a book, whether you have to do something, but something happens that makes us have to create. It forces us to recreate or to take sides or to bring together or do something. We cannot remain standing still in this position. So this date is, of course, the first day of the year. It carries something very profound. Now, I'm not one to listen to news and stuff, but something very profound. Now, I feel, as I said, that I feel it's still about China, because when we do the numerical values, there was another way of looking at having the 8 as well, because whether it's to do with food and China, well, Chinese food, I don't know. So, but of course, and this is where God comes and God becomes, because God is 8. God is 8. Right here. And of course, when we do the numerical value for the word 8, EIGHT, it comes to 31. 3 plus 1 is 4, and that's where the foundation of everything actually sets into motion. This is the whole journey, the 4 seasons. This is the formation or the depiction. This is going to set the template into motion for the 4 seasons for that year 2022. So a lot of us, for all of us, we are going through from Egypt to Canaan, and it is very important we understand that. Okay, So eight, yeah. So eight, of course, we have this would be 2 2, which I feel I did there 8 8. So 8 EIGHT, which equals 41 and is 4, and of course there's another 8, so that would also give us 8. So even in word form, we see that this 8 8 is still happening there. This is the Adam and Eve. This is the Esau and Jacob. This is the Esau and Isaac, whichever Esau and Jacob, I think. And it's the angels, and it's about the food, always eating, always. This is about that processing. Why do we use it? Because when we eat something, it's like something, of course, from hand to mouth. This is 9. Hand is HAND. Hand is equals 9. And mouth, MOUTH, equals 5. Adding this together is 14. The 14 gods are here. Of course, it's through the 14 gods we process everything by hand to mouth. And of course, there is a passage, the passage that has to be open, and of course to put in the mouth and break down the food, break down the walls of Jericho, break down with all that vibration. All this is happening here. The same happens whether it was about having your third eye activated, the lower chakra, going through, again, it's Egypt, going to the land of Canaan, and so on. So you're not giving into or controlling how you give to the appetite of your sexual drive, because again, that is about eating. So I hope you get this. As I say, I don't really want to do this to frighten you in any way whatsoever, but this is as I felt before, that the year 2022 holds a lot of unexpected events happening in catastrophic ways, from how I have been doing numerology, which is what I see. And I feel later on I'm going to give more on predictions for the year. It's something that I feel that Spirit has put in me to do. Of course, I have sort of held back that gift, if you like, or message, but now I am just embracing how it is being rendered to me, if you like. So I hope you enjoy this, and please remember to like and share and stay ignited.